What's up, Kings fans? Last night we saw the debut of DeMar DeRozan as a Sacramento King, so I figured it'd be a good time to dive back into the film room and look at the first glimpses of DeMar in the offense. I thought it was a hell of a debut from DeMar. We saw not only what he brings to the table with just his skill set and shot making ability, but also how well that he fits with the players around him and within the structure of the offense. The Kings didn't get too flashy offensively. Mike Brown said they weren't going to run any set plays, but their opening action was pretty creative. This is a slice punch set. Keon comes and sets the back screen for DeMar to get position in the mid post. The Kings have been running this for Barnes the past couple of seasons, and I've talked about it before. On the weak side, you have these staggered away screens for Fox. The Kings didn't really get anything out of this set here, but I like the spacing of these concepts, and you'll probably see this a ton over the course of the season, so I figured I'd highlight it. But DeMar's first bucket came on this sideline out of bounds play where the Kings space out and Domas can just choose what side he wants to initiate zoom action out of. But now his two options are Fox and Sabonis, which is obviously quite a luxury to have. Here he chooses DeMar's side, so DeMar gets a pin down from Keegan and right into a DHO with Sabonis. Draymond tries to shoot around it so DeMar can just stop and pop. The Kings flow right into their base offense here, so you have a handoff exchange on the wing and right into a DeRozan-Sabonis pick and roll. Here Looney was in a drop, but Draymond calls for a switch, and I mean we all know that DeMar doesn't need that much space to get a good look for himself. The synergy between DeMar and Domas is already on point, which shouldn't really be much of a surprise. Both of them are just certified basketball players who kind of do everything well. This is the same sideline out of bounds play from before, but this time DeMar is the one curling off Domas and around the baseline, and Fox is in the far side corner. And this is now kind of what the Kings are able to do. If the Warriors are going to put Draymond on a perimeter player like DeMar, then you can just run him off screens and get some off-ball movement in there. It's going to be tough to chase him off pin downs, especially for a bigger guy like Draymond, who's more of a help defender anyways, and especially even more so when one of those screens is coming from Sabonis. Here again, it forces Draymond to call for a switch, and DeMar is really going to get any shot that he wants against Looney. DeMar's in the corner here, and now Draymond's anticipating that screen from Sabonis, but that just sets up an easy backdoor and DeRozan gets fouled at the rim. These two playing off of each other is going to be such beautiful basketball all year. Of course, he's not a high volume 3-point shooter, but he's also not a dude that you can just leave uncovered, especially in the corner. That's going to be a pretty easy shot for him. This here is off a baseline out of bounds and just comes off an Alex Len screen, but this is what DeRozan's going to give you, late clock buckets. He's about as good of a bailout option as you can have, but I mean you don't need me to tell you that. He's been doing this for years and is simply one of the best scorers and shot creators of the past decade plus. Now this is a pretty fun elbow action the Kings ran a ton of last night. It's not anything new necessarily, but the options out of it are unlimited. After that entry to the elbow, these three really can do anything. Usually this would be staggered screens for DeMar, but it kind of turns into a double flare for Mason Jones before Fox flips it and rescreens for DeMar, who curls off of it right to the basket after a late switch. This here is the same set. DeMar's in the corner here and not really involved, but this is a nice screen grab for the people that said spacing would be an issue. So Fox and Keegan are setting those pin downs for Keon, who curls off the first one to the basket. Then Fox rejects the twirl action, gives Pods a little push, but with the Warriors top blocking everything on the perimeter and the spacing in Sacramento's offense, the backdoors are pretty much always there. Again, look at how spread out Sacramento is. Sabonis is literally at the logo with everyone else spaced out who's either an all-star or a damn near elite shooter. Fox sets a back screen for Keegan and the defender actually does a good job staying attached, but what are you gonna do? There's no help at the rim, so Sabonis just lobs his pass to the sky and Keegan is just bigger. Gonna be tough to guard, no doubt. Last play I'm gonna show for now, but I haven't had a chance to mention DeRozan's passing. But that's another massive element that he's bringing to the team. He skips this to Fox here, and I mean this is a tough pass, and one that he really doesn't have vision of. He just sees Draymond tag over on the screen and roll, and he knows that he has Fox open on the weak side. But this is actually a perfectly precise pass, and with Fox lifting, I think it's a pretty good indicator that this group is already connected. And guys like Keegan and Keon will be the beneficiaries of making defenses rotate like this, and there should be plenty of open looks to come. As always, thank you guys for watching and supporting the channel. DeMar DeRozan is a Sacramento King. Take care, y'all.